The Warlock, the Even Warlock, and it is Paladin, the Paladin we know and love, the odd Paladin from Rezdan, Fairley. If anyone could do it this season, he's one of the players that can, like you alluded to earlier, he's been around for forever in the Hearthstone scene, but it's only this year really he started to break out. He reached the final in Oslo where he lost to Turner. He got to the top 4 DreamHack Summer. He also got to the top 8 of the Wild tournament.
Yeah, he did well in Wild, I was going to point out.
And picked up some bits and pieces along the way. He was top 16 DreamHack Winter, top 16 in Italy. He's just in the prizes at every single event right now.
Yeah, he's just getting the work done, basically, and he's going to have to get the work done now to keep his team in the match. We go into it, and as you said, Odd Paladin versus the Even Lock. And you said the Odd Paladin we all know and love. I don't know if the second half of that sentence was correct across the board. I have a love-hate relationship with this deck. I liked Even Paladin, Lorinda. I'm going to hold my hands up and admit it.
But they moved Call to Arms to this deck for you.
but yeah, like Odd Paladin, it's definitely a good deck. I feel like because it's so one-dimensional is really maybe the reason I don't like it. And that might sound funny because of Even, but I liked Even because it was ridiculously strong. But it's very like a one-dimensional deck, right? And Paladin is in a weird spot at the moment. We're probably going to see that shaken up quite a lot once the expansion hits in a few weeks. But for now, Odd Paladin all the way. I believe it's... oh wait, was there Even Paladin in the lineups today?
There was yesterday.
Because last week, Odd Paladin was universally brought as the Paladin deck for every single team. But we'll see how it plays out now. Argent Squire, Firefly, and a Blessed Maul. Pretty nice. And a Sacred Maul.
And not the one you want, Maul.
So they're in the opening hand, but look at this from Czech Republic. Defile, Doomsayer, Swampoos, and a Shroom Brewer, all available early on. This is a very, very nice opening.
And notice how they wanted to play this. They even had the Twilight Drake in that opener, not interested. Because if you can deal with the Paladin a couple of times, it just folds against Warlock. But it's definitely not a one-sided matchup. I've seen Muzzy claim to be favoured on both sides of this matchup before now.
So in this matchup, the Paladin's X%, the Warlock's X%, and then Muzzy's Muzzy percent.
Yeah, Muzzy just wins.
Yeah, Muzzy's just the winning percentage. But yeah, the issue with Twilight Drake is unless you get exactly some Fury Protector, it's often just ignored by the Paladin. It's like, well, okay, you can hit my 1/1 a turn. Like great, you kill 1/1 a turn. I'm making minimum 2. Let's go. But these openings are important. How much you commit onto the board, how much you don't. The Sacred Maul is, of course, just... You almost never, after Sacred Maul, can be good in some aggro matchups. That's about to, literally survive. And that's about it.
Stick your Corridor Creeper behind it after playing it sometimes. But, yeah, it just doesn't do a lot. The Mauls are important in this. If you get good rolls on your Mauls, you can just get Divine Shield. You just win. But the problem with the Squire in this game, as you're going to see in a moment, is Defile is just not a very good... It's just very good against dudes and Divine Shield. It just goes straight through them all.
Yeah, and one of the plays that I think Czech Republic just do have to consider just for a second is Doomsayer is obviously powerful, but you are only asking Team Indonesia to have a +1 attack. Oh, they dropped us.
Oh my goodness.
They're doing secret tech. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I found my thought before Czech Republic interrupted me. There we go. Hey, Fairley, sorry. So yeah, you're asking Paladin to have +1 damage.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, to be honest. A lot of the time, going into raid leader turn, you might have another Arcus Veteran, for example. So,
whoa.
How going to play? I thought they were going to couple it with Defile and maybe wait 1 turn, play Defile next turn into Coin Doomsayer, and give them a wide berth so they can play either Volga Homunculus and some Fury Protector, or just drop a Shroom Brewer uncontested. Interesting.
This does do a lot. That it kind of forces the Maul to be played, to reveal itself, and lets you know. Basically, they have to tank everything into this Doomsayer, and then you just blow everything up anyway. It's worth pointing out, you cast a game like this last week where Indonesia just didn't press the hero power on 2, favouring playing the cards out of their hand. This was against Mage. They did it.
It was, yeah. They did have the God Curve against Mage, to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
But this is a lot more difficult. But just not pressing the hero power button, obviously relying on getting Divine Favour maybe to top things up.
Yeah, the tough one here for Czech is you might look at this Czech Republic hand and go, oh, they just win, right? They have a Defile. And you're like, well, right.
And
but then
what?
Team Indonesia just do it again. And you're like, right, I don't have Defile anymore. Whoops. So it's not like you can just play it, because Tefio clears all of the minions here, as you mentioned.
Once in the game.
But yeah, but then what? They might have to, because it's, I mean, this is just 8 power on board. It's a mountain giant's worth of power. So you do normally want to clear those. The coin to the Vulgar Homunculus looks like the play that they're going to end up making, which is nice. It does have a good sort of shape as a 2/4 to deal with this stuff. But you do have to just be a little bit wary, because now there's just no AoE. There's nothing.
I'm just looking at the hand, and there really is very little going on. That ooze is surprisingly helpful, but you really want to save that for Vine Cleaver if you possibly can. And they might not quite get the chance to do that. But a virtually clear board going into turn 5 is what you want as the Czech Republic, not just for the level up, but also for the Fungalmancer. And they look like they're going to be in that position. And then when you get to turn 6 as Warlock, you can start doing 2 things a turn, which is obviously a big, big deal.
Looking at this, the Shroom Brewer might just be MVP right now, because you'd swing the weapon in, create the board with just Hero Power and say Flame Element. You don't even need to play Veteran this turn. And then they just trade and heal it back up again. And that's very, very frustrating.
It's really irritating when you're the Paladin to play against Taunt for the best of times, and because the attack value just basically doesn't matter, it's the health that matters.
Right.
Have it all heal back up, like you say. They're going to get maximum tankage out of this Homunculus.
I think this on the 1/2 is better, isn't it?
Yeah, because you want your 1/1s to survive for the level up. So spreading out your worth does seem better to me too.
Because even if the Homunculus doesn't trade and trades into a 1/1 instead and leaves the 2/2 alive, well, great, then the other 1/1.
Yeah, if you want to kill a 1/1, you still can. You can't
Yeah.
kill them both in one turn.
So many possibilities.
Yeah, if anything, I'd try and just probably won't work against players this good, but I would like trying to mentally bait the trade into the Flame Elemental, sorry, just so you can have a higher chance at leveling up next turn.
So how do you stare at them hard?
No, you just buff the 1/2.
Okay. I'm not used to the art of mental baiting.
I'm not saying it would work, but I'd try it. I'd give it a whirl. Sometimes you've got to make these weird plays.
Yeah, it definitely can work, like you say, when there's 4 of the best players in the world.
4 of the best players in Czech Republic, at least.
Yeah. Yala. World.
Yala isn't?
No, I think he's one of the best players in the world.
Oh, right. I thought you were hacking nah, they're not 4 of the best players in Czech
They're not from
Republic.
the
I was
Czech
like, Lorinda,
Republic.
please.
Yala's an honorary Norwegian at this point.
Okay.
Count? I don't know.
So they went with the Twilight Drake instead of the Shroom Brewer. Sacred Maul hero power is available right now, and that's just going to help a little bit. And this is kind of cute, right? This is one of those weird things where Sacred Maul does something, and what it does is it protects, kind of, the 2 1/1s now ready for, say, level up next turn. But now with Vine Cleaver and level up in hand, Resden can choose to take it a little bit slower and start the option late game.
Very interesting how he wants to cope with this, because he can also just choose to leave the Twilight Drake there, stick 6 in the face.
Oh, I would. Yeah. You could even...
If you go with that and your opponents put another taunt down or start healing up, you start losing to the Twilight Drake is one of the problems.
Right, my view on it is, what if they play anything, so it's going to be some Fury Protector or another Homunculus, we'd have to deal with that anyway, right? And then you still have more minions to deal with that, with the taunt and not the random 4/6 that sat on the board.
Yep, and that's where they are putting all the damage.
Yeah, it's going to be more than 4/6 though. It's going to be a 7/7 with taunt hitting the board this turn, if Firely wants it.
Was there a case there for leaving them on 18?
I think so. Does the 1 extra damage count when you have nothing directly to push next turn? There is level up, but does level up make that much impact? The 2/1 is going to die 100% of the time. So you push 6, you're still not getting anywhere near lethal.
Because I do feel that in general people worry about the 15 cutoff too much, but when it's just going from 18 to 16, definitely a case there for holding back for 1 turn.
Because your hand's so slow.
Right.
Don't
get me wrong. You just go straight through the Reaver and just carry on.
If that Leroy Blessing of Might, maybe you're like, wait, the second they don't have it, I just win the game. You know, there's things to consider, but yeah, I don't know. I do agree people play around it a bit too much, though. Maybe I'm just a loose cannon when I play Lorinda.
I mean, you are a bit of a loose cannon, Raven. I've seen you.
I'm like,
hunter people.
Can I go face this turn, though?
Of course I can.
Right, and then that normally makes up my whole decision point. Well, this is a bad turn.
Yeah, whatever you want to do here, you don't want to do that thing.
You swing the weapon, that's something you do.
Reporting for duty.
Yes, because you want to get the level up after the Vine Cleaver for the attempt to make
I just want to
4.
hit him for 12 with Vine Cleaver. You know, I just want to get it
And
5.
Yeah.
Told you, I'm just all about going faceless.
Loose Cannon Raven. But now they are in the world where they have to just hope Hook Reaver isn't there. I can't see what hitting the 3-4 does. Well, it turns into a 3-2. That's about it. That's what it does.
In fact, what it does. Excuse me.
Choices now. Trading into the 3-3, Shroom Brewing up, Minion, and then just Sunfury protecting. Looks quite interesting.
I think the 7's just the way to go, right? You could 7/7 trade and still taunt up the Twilight Drake. Because looking at Indonesia's Paladin, they don't have silence. So
Right.
the 7/7's a 7/7. There's been no Stonehill played, so you know there's no Tarim. And Void Ripper does nothing versus a 7/7.
And it's that one-dimensionality that you were
Right.
talking about earlier, that the lack of silence. People say silence in this for a long time, and it just didn't help you kill the people you should kill.
Right, a lot of the time the stacking minions, the speed in which you play means that silence wasn't super impactful, but I just don't really see a major punish for the Hooked Reaver unless I'm missing something.
The end is coming!
Because even if there's hero power level up, there's only 9 power, which means that kills one Hooked Reaver the way the trades end up going, or
Right.
they kill the Twilight Drake and leave the Hooked Reaver on the board.
This way gets you onto an empty board. That's one thing to look at. Next turn, it gets you just onto an empty board. You take some damage, but you don't die very often here.
They're dead to, what, double Blessing of Might?
Double
Leroy?
Blessing Might Leroy if it's even in there.
It is in there.
So they have left themselves dead, but they're not going to be dead.
But also, look at this. This is
Yeah.
what's scary as well. I mean, the Hooked Reaver argument still counts, right? There's no silence, so they can't just weapon through it. But it's a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's not just scary. You've stopped yourself being able to tap, which is always a thing. But now Hooked Reaver shuts down Vine Cleaver pretty well.
Yeah, and look at Indonesia. Players are just like, come on, we can do this quick 3-0, let's go. We can see that's not going to happen because I believe there is very few draws because of
Oh, you're
those
calling it
silence.
now?
Well,
Yeah.
I can see that.
I see why you would.
I could see Hooked Reaver into Hooked Reaver Shroom Brewer next turn. I don't quite know how they're pushing the damage through.
I'm sold.
They would literally have to draw
I think they're trying to work out any
Stonehill
world
into Tarim,
where they're
and
dead.
I think Stonehill into Tarim is the only real out they've got.
Playing Sunflower Protector just for the body on board to deal with any minions that might surface. Doesn't quite set up lethal. Assuming the Vine Cleaver has to swing into the 7/7.
Well, the awkward thing is it does in a lot of cases
Yeah.
as well because of Hellfire, right? Like if Vine Cleaver now
Sure.
goes in, another Vine, and then they hit again, that's 14. They have 15-16 with the Sunfury Protector, so they only need 3 damage, and 3 damage is something that Warlock does pretty well with that Hellfire.
I know.
And they won't be dead to it.
Tap for Hellfire and play it. That'll work well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that doesn't.
But look
quite-
at this, they can
Yeah.
retrieve a Shroom Brew, and it's like, get dead?
Get dead.
Yeah, get deaded.
Every time I think I've picked up on Raven phrases, they just evolve.
I try and keep them fresh, Lorinda. I know people like fresh things.
Fresh phrases.
So many possibilities.
Trade or face? I'm asking Raven. This is, I go on about this probably too often, but this is the hardest thing for pro players to agree on ever. It's like, we have won this game, what do we do that means we never lose?
Many possibilities.
I'm trying to think here. So, like, even without Shroom Brewer, you can Hooked Reaver and Weapon. Weapon Destruction with the Ooze. Or you could just Shroom Brewer the Hooked Reaver that exists right now.
Yeah, they can't tank
Ooze.
7.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they can't really deal with this, so you just go face, right? Because they cannot get through this, and if they can't get through it, great pass if you want. The 2-3 going into a 1-1 is fine, because the 2 damage doesn't really change much, but they can't tank this. Oh, what?
I knew you were going to get upset. Lethal's still on board next turn, so it didn't change the clock.
It's the principle, Miranda. It's the principle, the situation. 7-3 goes into a 1-1. I mean, it is correct.
Done its job.
Yeah. I can't argue with it, unfortunately.
Killed something. That's what it's there for.
Play the homunculus. Wait, well, they just didn't concede when they're dead on board?
Not yet.
Am I missing something? Why is this turn taking so long?
There was a blessing, right? Did I imagine that blessing?
What?
And it's over.
I don't get what happened. One, Indonesia didn't concede, and two, Czech Republic discussed how they were going